Talking English with Ada.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the program. Are you ready to transform your English?
I am ready, Hannah. I have my notebook, I have my pen, and I have downloaded 5 different dictionary apps. I want you to teach me all the grammar tricks and pronunciation secrets. Let's start with the present perfect tense.
Whoa, slow down, Mike. Put the notebook away. We are not doing grammar today.
What? But I signed up to learn English. If we aren't doing grammar, what are we doing?
We're doing something much more important. We're fixing your foundation. Mike, let me ask you a simple question. Why do you want to learn English?
Well, that's easy. Everyone speaks English. It's the global language. I want to be able to communicate.
That is a terrible answer.
Excuse me? It's the truth.
It might be true, but it is weak. To communicate is a surface-level goal. It has no emotion, no fire. When you are tired, when you have a headache, or when you feel lazy, to communicate will not get you out of bed. We need to go deeper.
Deeper? Like, I want to get a better job?
Better, but still not enough. Why do you want a better job?
Well, so I can make more money, obviously.
Keep going. Why do you want to make more money?
Because I want to provide a better life for my family. I want to send my kids to good schools. I want to stop worrying about bills every month. I want to feel free.
Bingo. Now we have arrived at the truth. You don't want to learn English. You want freedom. You want security for your children. English is just the tool to get there.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Most people don't. They treat English like a school subject, like mathematics or history. They study it because they have to. But you cannot master a language out of obligation. You can only master it out of obsession.
Obsession? That sounds intense.
It is intense. Listen, Mike, the road to fluency is long. It is full of frustration, mistakes, and embarrassment. If your why is weak, like, I want to watch movies without subtitles, you will quit the first time it gets hard. But if your why is, I need to feed my family, you will never quit. You will run through walls to make it happen.
You're right. In the past, I always quit after a few weeks because I didn't really have a burning reason. It was just a hobby.
Exactly. A hobby is for when you have free time. A mission is what you make time for. So before we learn a single word of vocabulary, I want you to write down your mission statement.
Okay, I'm writing it down. I am learning English to build a future where my family is safe and free.
Now, how does that make you feel?
It feels heavy, but in a good way. It feels like a responsibility.
Good. Hold on to that feeling. That feeling is fuel. When you are tired at 10 p.m. and you don't want to study, look at that sentence. It will push you forward.
I understand. The why drives the how.
Precisely. Now that we have your engine running, we can start looking at the map. But remember, Mike, 80% of success is psychology. Only 20% is mechanics.
I'm starting to see that. I was focused on the 20% and ignoring the 80%.
That changes today. Are you ready to stop being a student and start being a champion?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
So, Mike, we've talked about finding your purpose. Now we need to discuss how you actually execute it. We need to talk about the difference between an amateur and a pro.
Well, that seems obvious, doesn't it? A pro gets paid and an amateur does it for fun.
That is the dictionary definition, yes. But in the world of mindset and performance, it has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with your approach. You can be a millionaire amateur and you can be a broke professional.
Oh, okay, you lost me. How can you be a broke professional?
Because being a pro is a habit, not a paycheck. Let me ask you something. When do you usually work on your side projects or your writing?
Usually when I have some free time or when I feel really inspired. When the creative spark hits me.
Exactly. That is the classic amateur mindset. An amateur waits for inspiration. A pro knows that inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work.
But isn't forced work bad work? If I'm not in the mood, the quality suffers.
That's a myth, Mike. Listen, do you only go to your office job when you feel inspired?
No, of course not. I go because I have to. If I didn't show up, I'd get fired.
Right. You treat your day job like a professional. You show up even if you're tired, even if you have a headache, or even if you'd rather be sleeping. But when it comes to your dreams, the things you actually care about, you treat them like a hobby. You let your feelings dictate your actions.
Wow, that's actually really harsh, but true. So a pro shows up no matter what?
Precisely. A pro practices detached consistency. The amateur is addicted to the outcome. They want the applause, the money, the viral post. The pro is addicted to the process. The pro loves the boredom of the daily routine.
I struggle with that. If I post something and it doesn't get likes, or if I work hard and don't see results immediately, I get discouraged and stop for a few days.
That is the amateur roller coaster. An amateur takes failure personally. If their work is rejected, they think, I am a failure. They attach their self-worth to the result.
And the pro?
A pro views failure as data. It's just feedback. If a pro writes an article and nobody reads it, they don't cry about it, they analyze it. They ask, okay, the headline was weak, or the timing was off. Then they wake up the next morning and write again. They are emotionally detached from the immediate result.
It sounds like the pro is almost robotic.
Not robotic, disciplined. It's about respect. If you love your craft, you respect it enough to show up every day, not just when it's convenient. Think of it like a marriage. An amateur is in a fling. They're only there for the fun times. A pro is in a committed marriage. They stick around through the hard times, the boredom, and the struggles.
I really need to shift my perspective. I've been acting like a fair weather sailor. As soon as the waves get rough, I quit.
So here's your challenge for this week. I want you to turn pro in your head. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting to feel like it. Set a schedule and stick to it as if your life depends on it. Because honestly, the life of your dreams does depend on it.
No more excuses. I'm going to punch the clock, even if nobody's watching.
That's the spirit. The amateur craves the spotlight. The pro loves the shadows where the real work happens. Let's get to work, Mike. All right, Mike, we have established that you need a pro mentality. Now I'm going to give you the most uncomfortable tool to improve your speaking.
Uncomfortable? I don't like the sound of that. What is it?
I call it the game tape strategy. Mike, do you know what professional athletes like basketball players or footballers do immediately after a big game?
They probably go home and rest, right? Or maybe celebrate.
Eventually, yes, but first they watch the game tape. They watch recordings of their own performance. They study every move, every mistake, and every missed opportunity. And that is exactly what you are going to do with your English.
Wait, you mean record myself speaking and then listen to it?
Exactly.
Oh, no. Anna, please don't make me do that. I absolutely hate the sound of my own voice. I sound like a dying cat on a recording. It makes me cringe.
I know, Mike. Everybody feels that way. It is actually a scientific phenomenon. When you speak, you hear your voice through bone conduction in your skull, which makes it sound deeper and richer. When you hear a recording, you hear what the rest of the world hears.
So the dying cat version is the real me? That's depressing.
It's not depressing, it's reality. And here's the hard truth. You cannot fix what you cannot face. If you want to sound like a native speaker, you need to hear exactly where you are going wrong. You need to be your own coach.
Okay, I get the logic. But what exactly am I supposed to do? Just talk into my phone and suffer through it?
No, you need a system. Here's the protocol. Step 1. Record yourself speaking for just 1 minute. Use a prompt or just talk about your day. Step 2, listen to it immediately. But, and this is crucial, you must listen objectively.
What do you mean by objectively?
I mean, you cannot say things like, I sound stupid or my voice is annoying. That is emotional. A pro looks for data. You need to ask specific questions. Was my speed too fast? Did I pronounce the th sound correctly? Did I use too many filler words like or
Ah, I see. So instead of judging myself, I'm analyzing the mechanics.
Precisely. It's like a mechanic listening to a car engine. He doesn't say, this car is ugly. He says, there is a rattling noise coming from the engine. Be the mechanic of your own voice.
Can you give me an example of something I should look for?
Sure. Pay close attention to your intonation. English is a musical language. It goes up and down. Many learners speak like a robot, flat and monotone. When you listen to your tape, check if you are expressing emotion or if you sound like you are reading a list of ingredients.
That's a good point. I think I do sound a bit flat when I'm nervous.
Another thing to catch is slurring. Are you enunciating the ends of your words or are you swallowing them? You won't know until you hear the tape.
This is going to be painful, isn't it?
The first 5 times, yes, it will be excruciating. But after the 10th time, you will stop cringing and start learning. You'll spot a mistake, record it again, and fix it. That is the feedback loop of a champion.
Okay, I trust you. I'll start tonight. 1 minute of recording. No emotions, just data.
Perfect. Treat it like a science experiment. The microphone doesn't lie, Mike. And because it doesn't lie, it is your best friend.
Anna, I have to be honest. I'm feeling a bit frustrated. I spent 3 hours yesterday studying English, but I don't feel like I'm getting any better. I feel stuck.
3 hours? That is a lot of time. What exactly did you do during those 3 hours?
Well, I watched 2 episodes of a TV show on Netflix without subtitles, and then I listened to an English podcast while I was cooking dinner. I immersed myself.
Okay, Mike, I see the problem. You were not practicing, you were consuming. You were on autopilot.
Autopilot? But I was listening. I was surrounded by the language.
Let me ask you a question. How long have you been driving a car?
About 10 years, I think.
And are you a Formula One racing driver?
What? No, of course not. I'm just an average driver.
Exactly. You have done it for 10 years, thousands of hours behind the wheel, yet you haven't improved into a professional racer. Why? Because you are just repeating what you already know. You drive to get from point A to point B. You are not actively trying to take corners faster or improve your braking efficiency. That is the difference between repetition and deliberate practice.
That makes sense. I'm just cruising. So, what is deliberate practice?
Deliberate practice is highly structured, laser-focused, and honestly, it is usually not fun. It requires you to step outside of your comfort zone and focus on the specific things you are bad at.
So, watching Netflix isn't deliberate practice?
No, that is entertainment. It's passive. Deliberate practice looks like this. Instead of watching a whole episode, you watch one scene, just 2 minutes.
Only 2 minutes? That doesn't seem like enough.
It is enough if you do it right. You play a sentence, pause it, and try to repeat it exactly, matching the speed, the tone, and the emotion. You record yourself, compare it to the actor, and realize, oh, I missed the rhythm there. Then you do it again, and again, until it's perfect.
Wow, that sounds exhausting.
It is. If your brain doesn't hurt, you probably aren't doing it right. It's like the gym. If you lift a weight that is too light, you can do it all day, but your muscles won't grow. You need resistance. Deliberate practice is mental resistance.
I think I've been avoiding the hard stuff. I stick to what I'm good at because it feels nice.
That's human nature. We like to feel competent, but growth happens in the struggle. Here's another rule of deliberate practice. Feedback. You cannot just practice in a vacuum. You need immediate feedback to know if you are doing it right.
That's why you told me to record myself in the last section.
Exactly. The recording is your feedback mechanism. Or you can use a tool like Google Translate's voice input. Try to speak a sentence to it.
If the AI understands you perfectly, great. If it types something weird, you know your pronunciation was off. That is immediate feedback.
So less volume, more intensity.
Yes, I would rather you spend 20 minutes doing intense, focused, deliberate practice where you are sweating and struggling than 3 hours of passively watching movies while checking your phone.
The Art of Struggle. I like that title. I guess if it feels easy, I'm wasting my time.
Precisely. Embrace the difficulty, Mike. When it feels hard, that's the moment your brain is actually rewiring itself. That's the moment you are becoming a pro.
Anna, I have to tell you about something that happened yesterday. It was a disaster. I tried to speak English with a client and I completely froze. I forgot a simple word, I started sweating, and I just felt humiliated.
I can hear it in your voice, Mike. You are still carrying that feeling with you. You are replaying the movie in your head, aren't you?
Yes, I feel like an idiot. Honestly, it makes me want to stop trying for a while. I don't want to feel that embarrassment again.
And that right there is why we need to talk about emotional detachment. Mike, your problem isn't your vocabulary. Your problem is your emotional attachment to the outcome. You are letting your feelings drive the car.
But isn't it normal to feel bad when you mess up? It shows that I care.
Caring is good, but emotional turbulence is bad for business, and learning English is your business right now. Think about a surgeon in an operating room. If things get complicated during surgery, does the doctor start crying? Does he get angry and throw his scalpel?
No, that would be dangerous. He has to stay calm and focused.
Exactly. He practices emotional detachment. He cares about saving the patient, but he detaches himself from the panic. If he lets his emotions take over, his hands will shake. Right now, Mike, your hands are shaking because you are too worried about looking smart.
You hit the nail on the head. I'm terrified of looking stupid.
The amateur protects his ego. The pro kills his ego. When you made that mistake with your client, you took it personally. You thought, I made a mistake, therefore I am a failure. A pro thinks, I made a mistake. That is interesting. What caused it? Okay, moving on.
That sounds so cold.
It is not cold, it is efficient. Emotions are heavy, Mike. Shame is heavy. Regret is heavy. If you carry that weight every time you practice, you will eventually collapse. You need to travel light.
So how do I do that? How do I stop feeling embarrassed?
You stop treating every conversation like it is a performance at the Oscars. You are not on a stage. You are in a gym. When you see someone sweating and struggling at the gym, do you laugh at them?
No, I respect them because they're working out.
Exactly. Every conversation you have is just a repetition. Sometimes the rep is ugly. Sometimes it's smooth. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you did the rep.
I guess I've been judging myself too harshly. I expect perfection instantly.
That is the amateur's trap. Listen, here's a rule for you. The 10-second rule.
What's that?
When you make a mistake or when you feel embarrassed, you are allowed to feel bad for exactly 10 seconds. You can curse, you can sigh, you can feel the heat in your face. But after 10 seconds, you must cut the cord. You take a deep breath, reset to neutral, and get back to work.
10 seconds. Okay, so I don't ignore the feeling, I just put a time limit on it.
Precisely. Do not let a bad 10 seconds turn into a bad day, or worse, a bad week where you quit studying. The market doesn't care about your feelings, and neither does the language. The language rewards consistency, not sensitivity.
You're right. I was ready to quit for a few days because of one small moment. That's weak.
It's not weak, it's human. But if you want to be a pro, you have to override that human instinct. Be the surgeon, Mike. Calm, cool, and collected. When you mess up, don't panic. Just fix it.
Be the surgeon. I'm going to write that down. Thanks, Anna. I think I'm ready to get back in the operating room.
That is what I like to hear. Let's get back to work.
Anna, honestly, I don't think I can do this today.
What's wrong, Mike? You look exhausted.
I am. It was a nightmare at the office. My boss yelled at me, I missed lunch, and I have a headache that feels like a drum solo. My brain is fried. Can we just skip today and double up tomorrow?
Mike, listen to me carefully. This moment right here, this is the most important moment of your entire journey.
What? Anna, I just told you I'm miserable. How is this important?
Because anybody can work hard when they feel good. Anybody can practice when the sun is shining, the coffee is fresh, and they have plenty of energy. That is easy. But what separates the top 1% from the rest is what they do on days like today.
But what is the point? If I practice now, it will be garbage. I won't remember anything.
It is not about what you learn today. It is about proving to yourself that you are the kind of person who does not quit. If you skip today, you are sending a signal to your brain that says, when things get hard, it is okay to give up. That is a dangerous habit.
I'm not giving up. I'm just taking a break.
That is how it starts. Today it's a headache, next week it's a friend's birthday, the week after it's raining. It is a slippery slope, Mike. Once you break the chain of consistency, it is 10 times harder to start again.
Okay, I get it. Consistency is key, but practically speaking, I cannot do an hour of intense study right now. I will fall asleep.
And I am not asking you to do an hour. I am going to teach you the bad day protocol.
The bad day protocol? What is that?
It means on your worst days, you lower the intensity, but you never lower the consistency. You lower the bar so low that you cannot say no.
Give me an example.
Normally you study for 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Today your goal is 5 minutes. That's it. Just listen to one song in English or read one paragraph or speak to yourself in the mirror for 2 minutes while you brush your teeth.
5 minutes? Does that even count?
Absolutely. The goal today isn't progress. The goal is maintenance. You are keeping the habit alive. You are keeping the neural pathways in your brain open. It's like brushing your teeth. Mike, even if you are tired, you still brush your teeth before bed, right?
Usually, yes, because it feels gross if I don't.
Exactly. You don't try to win a toothbrushing championship. You just do it because it's part of your identity. You need to treat English the same way. It is hygiene. On good days, you do a deep clean. On bad days, you just do a quick brush. But you never, ever skip it.
That actually makes me feel better. I can do 5 minutes. I can watch one short video while I drink some tea.
Perfect. That keeps the momentum going. And here's the magic trick, Mike. Often, once you start doing that 5 minutes, you might find you actually have the energy for 10 or 15. The hardest part is just starting.
Yeah, the dread of doing it is usually worse than the actual work.
Exactly. So no doubling up tomorrow. That never works. Just give me 5 minutes of focused attention today and then go get some sleep. You will wake up tomorrow feeling proud that you didn't break the chain.
You're right. If I skipped it, I would just feel guilty, and that would make my headache worse.
Correct. Guilt is heavier than discipline. Do the work, even if it's small, and sleep with a clear conscience.
Okay. I'm going to do my 5 minutes. Thanks for not letting me off the hook, Anna.
Anytime, Mike. That's what I'm here for. Now go. 5 minutes. Okay, Mike. We have covered a lot of theory in the last few sessions. Now I want to make sure you really understand the difference. We are going to play a game called Hobbyist versus Pro.
Sounds fun. How does it work?
I will give you a specific, difficult scenario that happens to every English learner. First, you tell me how the hobbyist reacts, the old version of you. Then I will tell you how the pro reacts. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
Scenario number 1. You have been studying for 3 months. At first, it was exciting, but now you feel stuck. You aren't seeing any progress. You feel like you are walking through mud. What does the hobbyist do?
Oh, I know this one well. The hobbyist gets bored. He starts thinking, maybe this method doesn't work. So he deletes the app he was using, stops listening to his usual podcast, and starts looking for a magic pill. He probably searches YouTube for how to learn English in 7 days. He blames the tools.
Exactly. The hobbyist suffers from shiny object syndrome. He thinks the problem is the method. Now here's the pro. The pro looks at the plateau and smiles. He says, "Good. This means the beginner gains are over. Now the real work begins." The pro doesn't change the method, he changes the intensity. He doubles down on deliberate practice because he knows that growth happens after you push through the boredom.
That's a huge difference. One quits, the other digs deeper.
Correct. Scenario number 2. You're at a dinner party. You try to tell a joke in English, but you mess up the grammar. Nobody laughs. There's an awkward silence. What does the hobbyist do?
The hobbyist wants to disappear. He turns red, apologizes profusely, and then shuts down for the rest of the night. He tells himself, "I'm never speaking again until I'm perfect." He carries that shame for weeks.
Painfully accurate. Now, the pro? The pro laughs with them. He says, "Wait, that came out wrong. Let me try again." He doesn't take himself seriously. Later, on his way home, he doesn't beat himself up. He takes out his phone and records a note. "I messed up the past tense in a joke. I need to practice storytelling structures tomorrow." He converts the embarrassment into a lesson immediately.
So the pro has a short memory for pain, but a long memory for lessons.
I love that phrasing, Mike. Yes, short memory for pain, long memory for lessons. Scenario number 3. It's Friday night. Your friends are going out to a movie, but you promised yourself you would study English for 1 hour. You're tired from work. What does the hobbyist do?
The hobbyist says, "I worked hard all week. I deserve a break. One day won't kill me." He goes to the movie and promises to study twice as much on Saturday, which he never does.
Classic negotiation. The hobbyist negotiates with his goals. The pro? The pro knows that deserve is a trap. The pro says, "I can go to the movie, but only after I finish my hour." Or if he really cannot do the hour, he uses the bad day protocol we talked about. He does 15 minutes of intense review before he leaves the house. He never breaks the chain. He protects his standards.
It's ruthless, but I guess that's why the pro wins.
It is not ruthless, Mike. It is respectful. The pro respects his own future more than his present comfort.
Okay, last one. Give me a really hard one.
Scenario number 4. You need to invest money in a course or a coach to get to the next level. It's expensive.
The hobbyist says, "That's too much money. I can learn for free on the internet." He spends the next 2 years searching for free PDFs and random videos, wasting hundreds of hours to save a few dollars.
Bingo. The hobbyist values money over time. The pro values time over money. The pro thinks, if I pay this coach, I can learn this in 6 months instead of 2 years. That saves me 18 months of my life. That is a bargain. The pro invests in speed.
Wow, when you put it that way, being a hobbyist is actually more expensive in the long run.
It is always more expensive to be an amateur, Mike. It costs you your potential. So the choice is yours. Which character are you going to play in the movie of your life?
I'm done playing the extra. I'm ready to be the lead actor. I'm going pro.
Then let's get the cameras rolling. Welcome to the big leagues, Mike. So, Mike, take a deep breath. We have been talking for a long time. How does it feel?
Honestly, it feels quiet. Before this, my head was full of noise, worrying about grammar, worrying about my accent, worrying about what people think. Now it feels clearer.
That is the sound of clarity. When you strip away the fear and the amateur habits, things get very simple. Before we close this chapter, let's look back at the map we just drew. Do you remember where we started?
I do. It seems like a long time ago. We started with the foundation, finding my why, realizing that I'm not just learning words, I'm building a future for my family. That was the spark.
Exactly. Without that spark, the engine doesn't start. And then
Then we faced the hard truth, amateur versus pro. I realized I had been treating this like a hobby, waiting for inspiration. But now I know that a pro shows up even when it's raining.
And to fix your speaking, we introduced the tool you hated the most.
The game tape, recording myself. It's painful, and I still cringe a little thinking about it, but I know it's necessary. I have to be my own mechanic.
Then we talked about deliberate practice, struggling on purpose, and emotional detachment, learning to let go of the shame when I make a mistake.
And finally, the bad day protocol. Even if my boss yells at me and I'm exhausted, I still do my 5 minutes. I respect the habit.
You have excellent retention, Mike. You have the entire blueprint now. But remember, a blueprint is not a house. You still have to pick up the bricks and build it.
I know, and I'm ready to build. But Anna, what about the people watching? Some of them might still feel a bit overwhelmed. It's a lot to take in.
That is natural. To everyone listening, you don't have to change your entire life tonight. You don't need to be perfect tomorrow.
So what should they do?
Just start with the mindset. Tonight, before you go to sleep, ask yourself, am I treating this dream with the respect it deserves? Just sit with that question.
That's powerful. It's not about pressure, it's about honesty.
Exactly. And if you feel that you are ready to make that shift from a dabbler to a professional, we would be honored to walk that path with you.
We're going to start diving into the technical stuff, the pronunciation, the grammar, the real skills in the next few videos. It's going to be fun.
So if this conversation resonated with you, feel free to join us for the next one. You can subscribe if you want to stay updated, or just come back when you are ready. The door is always open.
And if you feel brave today, maybe leave a comment sharing your why, or just keep it to yourself, whatever feels right for you.
We're just glad you spent this time with us. Your attention is the most valuable asset you have, and you chose to invest it here. That is already a professional move.
Thanks for guiding me, Anna. I'll see you at practice tomorrow.
See you at practice, Mike. Take care, everyone.